I got a letter from Europe, from Denmark. I'm going to read some of it to you. This is, you can put his channel up. This guy is in Denmark. I'm not sure. I mean, I know him through the internet, of course. I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly. So if I get it wrong, but it's Soren, I think it is. I'm not going to try his last name. But he started Dean Odle Ministries Europe YouTube page because Europe was before they shut me down. YouTube terminated my channel here in the United States. Countries in Europe were already censoring almost all of my videos in some way. So what he did was he went in and did his best to edit out the things that would get them censored to the best of his ability so that Europe could still get it. But so he's got, he puts them up, and he's got already 84,000 views on that in Europe. But he's in Denmark, and I want to read this. He sent me this letter the other day, and did we bring it? Let's put the patch up here. He was listening the other day. He was in the military in Denmark, and he said he remembered they had a patch, sheepdog patch. And he said, I remember you referring to yourself as not the shepherd, but the sheepdog. And so he sent me this patch, so I'll be putting it on a jacket I have here pretty soon. But he's a neat guy. But listen to this. I want to read this to you. He says, Dear Pastor Dean, first let me thank Jesus Christ in heaven for leading me to your ministry, one of the only no-nonsense, nothing but the truth ministries I know of who preach the whole counsel of God, not just the pleasant parts. From creation to revelation and all in between, God bless you for that. In Denmark, it is impossible to find anything close. Denmark has been more or less overrun by Word of Faith, prosperity, NRA theology, and the state church is pretty much Catholicism light and ecumenical. However, more and more individuals are waking up, but fellowship with like-minded Bible-believing Christians is still a challenge. He says, so my wife and I consider ourselves as part of your extended church family. We have learned so much and are still learning. Many times it is like you have spoken directly into our situation, not only with encouragement and wisdom, but also correction. Your direct and no-fear approach is very inspiring. Thank you and thank God, and to him be all glory and honor. Amen. Then he talks about the sheepdog patch. He said, and he gave a little bit of his testimony, and I want to read this. He said, as long as I can remember, I have been completely brainwashed and indoctrinated. Like all my friends and family, my childhood was filled with bullying in school, various stepdads, one being a raging alcoholic who beat my mom and my sister and I. I have been a soldier in the Danish army, and I am a non-combat veteran. I have never felt like I fit anywhere in the world. Has always seemed off to me. And he goes on how he has been sick for long periods of time with stress and anxiety and PTSD. He said, short story, it was the truth about creation that God used to shatter my atheism. He was an atheist. He said, it was the truth about creation that God used to shatter my atheism back in 2015, 2016. While on sick leave, my only relief and escape of reality for years was computer games and drugs, weed, he says. He said, I didn't watch TV, so all I watched was my computer, YouTube, Netflix. And he said, one day a conspiracy video about the JFK assassination popped up in my recommended videos list. I found it interesting and started watching, which was the beginning of my trip down the rabbit hole. And now I believe that this trip was planned and started by God because I was pulled through almost every big conspiracy there was, from the JFK assassination to 9/11, Freemasonry to the moon landing, and finally, flat earth. Because God wanted to open my eyes to the fact that the world as I knew it was a big lie. And he thereby destroyed my faith in the world system. I was, however, still an atheist until flat earth. But that revelation shattered that stronghold in me, as well as my eyes and my heart were open to the possibility of a creator. The only question was, which one of thousands of God's was the one. And then he said, so he found videos, and God led him to begin to read the Bible and research Christianity, biblical cosmology. And then he had a powerful experience with Jesus. And then after that, a powerful experience of being delivered from the demonic strongholds in his life. This is why I preach Genesis to Revelation, folks. See, you don't know what somebody needs. Somebody would tell me, I've been told over the years so many times, people think they know what I ought to preach or what I ought not to preach. And I tell them, I learned a long time ago that we don't really know what truth it will take to bring a certain person to at least begin to investigate, to have an open heart, open mind, to begin looking into the truth. So that's why I will cover everything from Genesis to Revelation about life, about what God says, because I know that God, you might not need it. You might not need the truth about creation, but somebody like Soren does, you see.